The Marshal Service. Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe. And I briefly want to talk about this. So, we have been talking about for quite some time what would happen if Donald Trump defied court orders. And Donald Trump's DOJ has been defying court orders in one way or another without blatantly doing so. And there have been three judges so far, federal judges, who have either are about to or have already held the DOJ attorneys in contempt in their courts. So while there is a provision in the omnibus bill that passed the House that sort of curbs the court's powers to hold executive officials in contempt, there's also a fear that when the Supreme Court issues a direct order that Donald Trump does not want to follow, he will simply order the DOJ to tell the Marshal Service to stand down. Because as it stands now, the U.S. Marshal Service is under the jurisdiction, under the umbrella of the Department of Justice, just like the FBI. But there has been a bill introduced in the Senate, which I think should quietly pass by unanimous consent and quietly pass through the House to have a veto-proof majority where the Marshal Service is handed over to the judiciary. Because the judiciary needs an enforcement mechanism in order to apply its orders, in order to have its orders complied with. And if Donald Trump creates a situation where the Marshal Service has the choice of either following an illegal order or following the statute that governs the Marshal Service, it will depend entirely on who is in the Marshal Service at the time and who is the leader to either carry out Donald Trump's illegal order of not following court orders or following the law and enforcing the court's orders. That'll depend on the head of the U.S. Marshal Service, who can be fired by the DOJ and who can be replaced by a loyalist. So I wanted to bring that up, briefly talk to you about that. Think about it. Some people have said that there's no point in weaponizing all of the all of the branches of government. Well, our government was set up in a way with the understanding that the executive shall take care to carry out the laws faithfully. Take care to carry out the laws faithfully. So when the president decides not to take care that the laws be fully executed, then what happens to the judiciary's ability to tell what the law is? Because the executive is stopping the enforcement of anything that the judiciary would say. And same thing with Congress even. Congress and the judiciary, they have their own police forces, but they don't have their own vast enforcement mechanism to detain and incarcerate people in case the executive refuses to carry out the orders of the judiciary, which is the constitutional duty of the executive branch. So we are at a point where we should think about this, and I wanted to talk to you about this. And do put in the comment box what you think about it, because I think that it would be a good idea for the Supreme Court to be the branch of government that oversees the U.S. Marshal Service instead of the executive branch, because the Marshal Service's job, one of its primary functions, is to carry out federal court orders. So with that said, thank you for listening. Keep your eyes on the news. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.